Hapachadiwa magwara, hapachadiwa mbwende hapa, pale kuda vakasimba moyo, tisunungure Zimbabwe. Welcome viewers, masquerasi. Welcome to African Radio Television Network. Yes, Zimbabwe. Let's look at the point being raised by Dede Hope watching on. He is saying the prospective CCC MPs and councillors are sleeping on duty, and we want to look into that matter and critically see or review it. So without wasting time, let's get into the details of the matter. Hopo Chungono has raised a lot of issues regarding voter registration so far, and we need to look at what he has said. He said, since the last election, only 109,405 people have registered to vote, 32,000 dead, and they've been removed from the roll. So technically, we have added only 77,405 from the previous voters roll, 2018. So between 2018 and today, 2 million youths turned 18, and the prospective CC MPs or councillors are not doing their work. So we need to critically look at this. So here are the figures of the people who are registered to vote, as you can see right on the screen. We have 5.8048975. These are the people who are registered to vote as of 10 June 2022. So the truth is that CCC Zimbabwe's prospective MPs and councillors are doing very little to motivate the youths. Serious politicians reach the youths via TikTok, but none of our lot is there. They don't care because they are targeting urban areas where they are guaranteed to win. Number 3, they win these urban seats and wards, but with small margins affecting the presidential vote. But for most of them, they don't care because parliament is a job and not service. If Nelson Chamisa doesn't do something drastic, he will lose because of his team's failure. Okay. Number 4, CCC Zimbabwe should be a citizen movement which throws away the "we were there when it started" nonsense, which has crept into CCC from the old MDC. We are not fighting for useless candidates to replace a group of useless ZANU-PF MPs and councillors. Zimbabwe needs real change. We are not interested in photographs of prospective MPs and councillors in communities. We want to see the numbers of registered voters going up. Akainte Chilema didn't post pictures at all. We saw the registered voters going up, and we knew that it meant change was coming to Zambia. Any prospective or current MP or councillor who doesn't want to hear this truth is not only useless, but as bad as ZANU-PF. Citizens should not babysit old people and be afraid to call them out. We are fighting for a better Zimbabwe and not to help people to the feeding trough. Any serious and genuine prospective or current MP or councillor would not have a problem with being told the truth unless they are mere useless job seekers. Job Sikhala is in jail today for fighting for a citizen's right. Why can't you just mobilize youths to register? So this is what Dede Hope is saying. And let's get into the facts. So you have heard from Dede Hope. I have put everything on the screen for you to see what Dede Hope was saying in his tweet. So let's look at a very important issue regarding voter registration. The question is, what are we doing as citizens? That is number one. Basically, I don't believe that social media only is going to help us have the much needed people to register to vote. Reasons being, if you check on social media, especially on YouTube, the majority of the people who follow anything to do with politics, people between 35 years and 45 years, these are the majority. And from 45 years, they follow, that grouping follow. From 65 years, it's on number 3. So the grouping of people between 18 years and 25 years, 25 years to 35 years to 34 years, the majority of them, they are not interested in politics. They are not interested in anything political. They are interested in comedy. They are interested in some other things. There are so many factors regarding that. Some of them, they don't even have meaningful jobs, which means they don't have enough data for them to go online. So it is not an issue of them being ignorant only, but there is a lot of issues which are happening, which means we cannot only rely on social media when it comes to voter registration mobilization. We cannot rely on social media only, because the majority of these young guys, they don't have jobs. So where do they get money for them to buy data? No way. So if you see civil servants themselves, they are struggling to have money for data etc. What about young kids who just left school, who are not employed? You can actually see that there is a problem. So here comes a fact where people need to be in communities, right in the communities. If you're a councillor, I'm of the opinion that you need to know kuti inini ward yangu yakakura sei. Every council person or everyone who wants to be a councillor must just go ward market, mobilize from village to village if it is the rural area. Every village, visit every village, talking to the young people there, convincing them. So basically, you can actually see that in the rural areas, there is no much impact in terms of the use of social media, except it is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is better in terms of the rural areas. Facebook is weak. Twitter is worse in the rural areas, in the most rural areas. So if the person is the councillor candidate, he needs to be on the ground. These are the people who must be on the ground. And we need to see some people who are influencers going to the rural areas. For example, I always tell myself that I must be on the ground. Just that I'm working for this period. I'm working far away from my rural area. That is the reason why I'm not there. But I want to be there on the ground with the people, talking to the people, doing what I love best, that is to mobilize for people to register to vote. But here is the problem. The major problem why people didn't register to vote in their numbers is because they don't have IDs, these guys. The majority of the people were affected because from 2019, when COVID came, to this day, the production of IDs was very, very, very low. A lot of them, the majority of them don't have IDs. That is the reason why you are seeing very low numbers of registered voters. Of people coming up to register to vote, is because the majority of them don't have IDs. I know a lot of young people. Some of them, they say Takara some IDs, so we are trying to replace. And there is massive corruption to an extent where you are required to pay $10 for you to get an ID. And when you are in the rural area, wakira kwenda ku town $4 kubva kumba kwenyu, and you are told to come back tomorrow, and you don't have the $10 to pay for bribe for you to be helped quickly. So you can actually see that there are so many factors which we need to look at as people, so that we really address the situation as it is. Because the councillor candidate will come and say, I need to register people. But the people will tell you we don't have IDs. What are you going to do next? Nothing. You cannot do anything after that. So you can actually see that that is what we need to deal with. On another note, we need to realize that a lot of other people who are eligible to vote right now, they left Zimbabwe to South Africa. A lot of young people, especially those who are in the rural areas, they went to South Africa. And they've been there, especially during the COVID period. They have been there, and traveling was so difficult. So they've been there for a very long time, and that is also contributing to the lower voter registration turnout. So that is another factor, and something we need to closely look at. So I agree with the main points here, that if you are a councillor, prospective councillor candidate, make sure that you have created a ground for yourself. You have put in place everything for yourself to win the election. You have done the groundwork for yourself to win the election, so that panozouya election, we know kuti iwewe wega unenge uchitozvifila kuti ndakawina in this constituency. So in the rural areas, I urge people kuti if you want to be a councillor, don't run in the urban areas. Go to your rural area. Go and mobilize right now. There are people with resources right now. They have everything. They have their businesses. They have nothing to worry much in terms of being on the place. So those people, they are free people who can go to rural areas for mobilization to see if they can mobilize people to actually register to vote, to actually vote. That is in 2023. So let's go to our rural areas. Let's begin to work. In teams, you are going to see that we are going to improve the numbers there. So our target, in my view, is in the rural area. That is the most area we need to target more. We need to close the gaps. We need to win the seats. We need to win the council seats. We need to win the parliamentary seats. So if you look at most people, ZANU-PF 9,000, MDC Alliance in 2018, MDC Alliance angane 7,000, ZANU-PF which 12,000, MDC Alliance which 11,000, which 8,000. So those numbers can be covered if people work together from the MP, from the councillor, because a ward is manageable than a constituency. You can manage a ward better than a constituency. So I want to see prospective MPs in the rural areas. I want to see them with their shadow councillors on the ground working. This is one thing I advise CCC to do. They need to establish their shadow councillors, their shadow MPs in each and every rural area. That is the most viable strategy right now. They don't need to identify them towards the elections next year. Identify your people right now in each and every ward so that they can begin to mobilize. Because if they begin to mobilize today, they have more than they have around more than 300 days to mobilize for votes. So if you are working in a ward, that ward is manageable because you have certain villages. You can target my villages. I'm going to village Rakati, another village, another village, another village, another village. Uchita my rotations, uchita. And the other people are doing that in another ward. Another council candidate is doing that in another ward. Then the MP candidate, most of the time, you are now working council and MP, council and MP, council and MP, council and MP. You see, talking to the people. You are now introducing the MP candidate in your area. The MP goes from this point to another. Most of the time, you are now working as a team in that ward. My councillor SM in that constituency, my councillor SM constituency, and the MP, you are working now as a team, mobilizing, talking to people, village by village, village by village, village by village, mobilizing people, talking to young people, find what they want. You don't go and impose things on them. Go and listen to them first. If you have an opportunity to go and listen to young people, it will help you. Because when you go and address their concerns, you address specific concerns. I have experienced this. I was talking to some young people. I picked a few young people and I wanted to hear the reason why they are not participating in elections and whatsoever. Then I heard what were their concerns. And when I got to another group of young people, and when I began to talk to them, I was using the information I obtained from some of them. So using that information, you can actually see that you can influence them because they would say, this guy knows what is happening. This guy knows what we need. This is the right guy. You see, that's how you make them understand. That's how you talk to them. Because if you go with your ideas right now, like you have come from an urban area, you are trying to impose things on people in the rural area. These are people who need different things. What they need in the rural area is not what they need in the urban areas. So you can actually see that you may end up going wrong most of the time. So you have to be somebody who can listen to the young people in the area. What do you need? Then when you are talking to them, you elaborate their points, trying to explain to them what needs to be done, how it is going to be done, give them the real time frames. If you have something, Tangatuma projects, begin small projects with them. Go into every village, start a small project. I have seen a ZANPF MP in Gokwe Central. He's giving ZANPF chairmen, you don't necessarily need to go and give them budzi. You need to think, okay, what can I do to make sure that they can run my projects? Make them run my projects, find them a market. Those are the issues we need to see happening from this moment. So you have to begin now to work up to 2023. Probably you are going to win that election, you are going to win that ward, and definitely president anobva winner. So if the MP vakarova, councillor vakarova, there's no way president no loser, because president is the most known person, is the most popular person everywhere you go. The problem is on MPs and councillors. These are the people who are creating the gap. These are the people who are causing CCC or the MDC alliance in 2018. These are the people who are causing the shift, the vote shift in terms of winning the election. So I believe that this the Do Hope story is a very valid, is something which is very, very important. We need to discuss about it more. So I hope and believe that every person will embark on a trip this year, make it free, find a free holiday in your specific village and tell the young people there to vote for change. It's so easy, it's so simple. I once spoke about some strategies on this platform and they're still valid. In I always pay school fees for young lads in my area. I always buy textbooks, I always buy uniforms for them. These are the things I'm doing, and I'm doing them not with an intention to run at this moment. I'm just doing it because I feel that they need textbook, I feel that they need uniforms, I feel that they need school fees. So you can do that. Find people in your village, in your area, who doesn't have uniforms. And also need some uniform kumbari. Go, also need some uniforms in numbers kumbari. You know the uniform kuchkoro kwevana venyu. So need some uniform 50. 25 for girls, 25 for boys. Photocopy my textbooks. After that, you go. When don't know my textbooks, when don't know my uniforms, when don't know my school fees. For an example, school fees is $10. So $10 right now is no longer $10. It's now 100 rand. The whole term, school fees 100 rand the whole term. So if you find something like 2,000 rands, I can pay for 20 kids, 10 girls, 10 boys, 2,000 rands. I can photocopy my textbooks. I can sew my uniform for 50 kids, 25. This is a very tiny budget. Some regalia, t-shirts, my cape, and so forth. In my view, I believe that we need to take that money and go buy really tangible, very meaningful to the people in the rural areas. Even if those kids, when they go, when you go to tell the older brothers, the guys go and register to vote, they automatically go. They come. I'm telling you this, guys. I'm telling you this from experience. I always do it. So one of 10 bond, watenga a time, one fonera, that is the kind of connection you need to create with the young lads in your rural areas. Because my rural areas if we can capitalize in the rural areas, we win the elections. So just to do your part, every person achita pake. So just imagine one was kurana,
if we are to go munhu wese asine nekurana umwe nemumwe akatenga uniform, just imagine every CCC supporter akatenga uniform dzekunopa vana kuconstituency kwake kuward kwake, asiri kuda kukambena, you just go wonotora councillor candidate wenyu, you go with him, you present onopresenta mauniforms, onopresenta matextbooks, onopresenta chichi. These are the strategies. Muchingobva ikoko vanhu vanonoregister kuvhota zvamusati makamboona imimi, vanonoregister kuvhota. Why? They know very well that somebody is there to represent them, somebody is there arikuita zvinhu zviri meaningful. Because inini chokwadi chandakaudzwa, I was told point blank, kuti what are you doing, guys? You are doing nothing at all. So give us something to show that you are doing something, and we have to go and offer. ZANU-PF is offering mbeu dzenyika, is offering chikafu chiri kupiwa nemadona, is offering a lot of things zviri kubva kuhurumende, even iri kapie rice. You just have your word versus a cup of rice. Your word versus a cup of rice. So guys, let's just put resources together, make sure that we mobilize for change. Change is coming, but we need to work for it. We need to mobilize for people to register to vote. We need to have at least 7 million registered voters when we go to 2023 elections. And at least we know that numbers do not batsira. So those in South Africa, we have combat register of voter man. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for your support. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out each and every time we go live or we post an update. I don't see any comments. I am free to go. Till we meet again in another episode. Much love.